Hello! It's been a while, hasn't it? Hi, Fantha Trackers! Welcome. If you're not already a subscriber, hit the little buttony thing here, this little circle. That will give you updates every Wednesdays and Saturdays when we update the Fantha Tracks TV content. And there's tons of it since I've been last time. I've been very busy, but today I am here to talk about the Vintage Style Collection Han Solo figure. Ooh, very exciting. So a lot of people have been on the hunt for these, and let's take a little bit of a closer look, shall we? The Vintage Collection wouldn't be the Vintage Collection without the classic style packaging. That's, of course, you know, what it's harping back to. And for the Solo range, because you don't get to see that particular logo much, and it's very bold and very different to all the other ones that you've seen before. We just got a big, striking Solo logo in the middle there with the Star Wars, and we've got a single racetrack going around the car, the classic Kenner logo there, and we have a, well, I can't really say that looks like a photo. It looks like a kind of a photorealistic version of young Han Solo there, with the Millennium Falcon in the background, which is quite nice. But, like, you know, that kind of airbrushing soft focus feel is very much like what you used to have on the vintage cards anyway. So some nice detail there. They've gone for a green for the contrast on, like, the name badge, and also the back of the color balance for the figure there. If we look at the back, well, this is where things have been very, very disappointing, thanks to a million legislation and global marketing of, like, literally let's cram every single thing on here and then sell it wherever we can, but we don't, because we don't have the CE mark on here. So technically speaking, these aren't sold in the UK without another great big sticker over the top. If you look at the back, you've got plenty of figures that are from this wave. So you've got Han Solo Enfys Nest and a couple more to come. Let's take a closer look at the figure. So here we go. Start weeping, mint on card collectors, because we're opening up this sucker. Well, and that's come up pretty nicely. Now, one thing to point out, which is a big difference, this is wave 3, and people who started collecting these when they came out earlier this year, Hasbro came under big criticism for using sellotape around the bubble on the Vintage Style Collection card. It wasn't just located for that. They've been using tape on all of their bubbles for years, due to new legislation that was brought in on the adhesive glue, but they have now gone back to purely using glue on the bubbles. So you got an outer bubble and a bubble tray. Let's pop old Han out, and here's a little blaster, which is taped in there. Right, let's take a nice little look. Let's get that in there. So you can see there's some pretty nice sculpts going on, and you might want to be sort of like checking the eyes on him, because this is probably one of those figures that will be quite easy to see a misalignment when it comes to the printing. You've got some nice detail on the back and on the belt there. You've got oh, there you go, it's just a swivel hip, and then you've got like his stripes down the side, and then the gun belt there, the gun itself, so, and a waistcoat. But if you took that off, he's gonna then just have like jacket arms, but like it's not quite twin shot, but it's a separate piece. So a secondary piece there to give it some depth. So if we look at the articulation of the figure, we've got like a ball joint head, ball joint shoulders, ball joint elbows. Oh no, yep, we got pegged wrists, but also we got the articulated wrists, so you can have him literally easier firing position. And yes, yeah, you've got like so you got him on the X and Y axis on there. That's really good. I can't stand it when it's just like pegs. This makes a huge difference in terms of being able to like pose the figures, and by having it on X and Y on both of them, you know, if they included the sniper gun version or whatever you'd want to call it for this, for his blaster, that you didn't see him use anyway, to be fair, but he could hold that or any other laser rifle. Oh, and yeah, the belt is also an additional accessory, and that looks like it's glued or maybe pegged in there. But if we carry on with the articulation, he has a swivel torso there, which really doesn't hugely add much, but it's in the absence of like the swivel waist. You look at the legs, he does have ball joint hips, swivel thigh, ball joint knees, pegged ankles with a pivot on there so you can pose them in firing positions. But yeah, that is a pretty good, well articulated figure. The problem I've got with, if I'm honest, with things like the swivel thighs is that where you've got like this detail on the side, it doesn't take much to like completely misalign things, and that there, you know, the way the deco stands, it does limit how he's going to be, but he does look pretty cool and faithful to how you see him in the movie. So it's another nice little addition to the Solo range, of which, you know, Solo himself, available as a single figure, has not exactly been commonplace for someone who has the pride of the title of the film. He's not really seen a lot of single action figures available. We've mostly been packaged in with vehicles and things like that. So, but yeah, that's not too shabby, and lanky enough to look like Han Solo as you would want him to be in the classic, but as a younger version. And we got him there. Now, if I was Martin, I would be doing all kinds of like boom, 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 like poses and things like that, but I literally don't have the time to do that, which sounds terrible, I know. So I will literally give you several close-ups. Look at that. And the gun there in the holster. Yeah, very nice looking figure, be it if you're a carded Vintage Collection collector, or a Solo collector, or you're just loving good loose figures. It gets my thumbs up. So all in all, another great figure to add to your collection. The Solo range is quite an achievable one to like collect as well, because if you think about it, all of those characters and the vehicles, I mean, there's a lot of cool vehicles in it. You're never going to really see those again, so like now's the time to like get it, and it's like this. It's not like it's just and unachievable. The Solo range is actually quite cool, refreshing, and it's got enough in there for you to like signposting for the original trilogy fans and long-time Star Wars collectors. But if you're kind of new to collecting or you want to return to collecting, Solo is actually a good place to start. So you've got a couple of other like sort of Vintage Collection style figures that are coming out as well. You've got Enfys Nest, there's a Range Trooper, and there's probably a whole bunch more like, you know, coming on down the line. It's got to be a Lando. Come on, we need a good Lando. Anyway, I'm Dave, you're watching Fantha Tracks TV. Thank you for watching, and as I said before, if you don't already, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye!